I mean, isn't it crazy that it's not on television? I mean, I've been asked so many times to develop a show with other production companies, and it just turns into them wanting to create Ladies of London again. I mean, the personalities and the characters here in London are, I mean, unbelievable. Like, there's a bevy of interesting women that live, you know, crazy lives, and you know, in manor houses and with, you know, titles left and right, but also like women who've made themselves into, you know, amazing characters, and divorcees with huge residual payments. I mean, there's so many funny characters, as in any big city. But yeah, it's so crazy that Ladies of London is just a show, because the city is such a backdrop of beauty and fun things to do at all times.
Yeah.
I mean, every city's sleepy now, but we'll get there. We'll get back to norm.
Did they come to you, or you heard about it from one? Like, did you know anyone on the cast, or like?
So they started.
Cast?
So the woman who created the show, Izzy, also created The Masked Singer now, but she brought Dancing with the Stars from England to the States. She's British. So she had wanted to do a show with, you know, as a Brit living in America, seeing the Housewives franchise kick off. She thought internationally there's just as wild personalities. And she started with Americans who had made a name for themselves in London. And she started actually with Caprice and Noelle, who only were on for a season. And then I was really good friends with Noelle actually at the time. She was a dear friend of mine. And Noelle suggested Marissa, and Marissa suggested me. I was friends with Marissa and Noelle. So Noelle like said Juliet and Marissa, and then Marissa said, yeah, Juliet also. And then, so that was kind of where they were built. And then they did the British thing, you know. Annabelle was on their, you know, the dream, because her society, you know, her friends and her social circle. And it was a miracle that she agreed to do that. And then Caroline Stanbury, you know, everybody knows her in town. She's a piece of work and a fixture in any circle here in London, whether it's a deep, dirty club or, you know, at the Palace. You know, Caroline's been there.
That's one of the great things, like, I was about her. Like, she made, first of all, she seems so fun. Like, she could get down and kick them back, and like, she just makes it look so easy. So does Lisa Vanderpump. I think those are the two. Like, Caroline just makes it look so easy, like flawless looking. House is nice.
I just text her because she just looks so good. She was wearing this like white top and white sunglasses, and I'm like, you look insane. Yeah. And she's like, really? I'm like, you're such a bitch, because you should see like how crappy I look right now in my like hoodie and like my hair in a bun. And she's just like heading out to go get more like treatments done in Dubai with, you know, in her Maserati, and like, you know, and I'm
right. You're like, how is it?
And I'm
this
walking
easy?
To the park in my sweats. It's just like, no, but I mean, we're, you know, one of my bestest friends, family, or, you know, we've traveled the world together. No one has fun and lives life like her. She's up for anything. And that's kind of like me. Like, you can put me in Daisy Dukes prancing in a field with, you know, a beer in my hand, or I'm happy to sit in Mayfair with a glass of champagne. I'm just as happy in both of those scenarios, you know?
I love it. I'm kind of the same way. So, I mean, did this show ever start as Housewives? Like, was it ever going to be like the Housewives of?
No, it was going to be. I think it was going to be they wanted like an international show. Like, how cool would it be, like the ladies of Paris? Like, find Americans that have been living there, or the ladies of, you know, Istanbul, because there's so many women that like marry people, you know, in different countries and move or go back to where like their families were from, but like live international. I mean, like Mexican Diaries, right? Isn't that like about
dynasties? Yeah,
amazing dynasties in Mexico. I haven't watched it.
It was a great show.
Somebody said I would love it.
You would love it. It was cast so well. Like, they're all characters. It's such a good show.
Yes, but Shed Media did that. I was talking to Shed about a show, and they like, you know, there's people that see like London to do different things. And for me, if I was going to do a show, I wouldn't want it to be the way the Housewives is structured, like wealthy women in kind of the same circle. I think we need to open up the conversation You know, I have a very good friend of mine, is trans. I would love Maxim to be, you know, she is, we met front row of a fashion show. And, you know, even for me, like understanding this process, you know, my daughter's school, they have a trans bathroom now. We didn't grow up like this. You know,
No.
I remember at my daughter's age, we went to San Francisco and, you know, I was in a taxi driving through the Castro and we were looking at the window, like, you know, in Boys Town, like it was like a zoo. We would never seen, you know, pointing out that like we'd never seen anything like it. And
Right.
look at where we've come now, you know. My parents didn't talk to me about, like, you know, the other day Truman said, I may be gay. And we were like, okay. And he's like, is that okay? We're like, absolutely. But why do you think that? And we're like
Right.
opening up the conversation. Our parents did not have those conversations.
No.
And some parents that are old school still aren't having those conversations. I want to have those conversations with my kids. I want to say, it's okay if you're, you know, if you're gay, if you're, you know, if you're this, if you're that. So I would like to see a lot more of that in big cities happening, and how, you know, transitioning, you know, a trans into fashion. You know, Maxim walks the Fendi show and with Gigi and Bella Hadid, and was born a boy and is making a life and a career as a woman. And she is fabulous and amazing and fun. So I want those conversations, you know, and men on it too, you know. So it's more like the real world, you know, the real world in MTV, but like a little bit more of the real world, tapping into not just like this bubble.
Or like, you know, there's never been like an open lesbian housewife ever. You know what I mean? Like even that. So
that's another one of my characters. One of my best friends, Courtney Semmel. She would be a cast member too, and she is half British, and her mom is British, and she was living in London all last year. And I'm like, I mean, Courtney grew up the Hollywood life. Her dad ran Warner Brothers, and, you know, she grew up with every Hollywood star and the Kardashians as her best friends growing up. She's openly a lesbian and dates women, and one of my best friends. And, you know, I was her family when she was trying out living in London. She'd come back. Thankfully, she made it back for quarantine. She has a house in LA. Here she was, you know, in an apartment, and so I'm really happy she made it back. But yeah, I do. I think that you need, you know, show what's happening in the world and all kinds, you know, the rainbow. Show the rainbow.
You could cast a whole show.
I've already cast a whole show.
And you like get approached a lot to do shows, and you think like it always just kind of turns into
like, then I end up going back to Bravo and saying, hey, you know what, if I do this, like, are you gonna be mad at me? And then they say, well, we're still thinking about it, you know. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I want to take the reins to do a whole show myself, but also, yeah, I think it would turn out to be a lot of ladies of London. So I'm wondering why they wouldn't want to or can't make it work. I know we're expensive here in London. You know, everything's really expensive.
And is it harder to film just because they're like, well, this isn't even going to be seen in London? Like, we're not giving, like, you know, like it's hard to film in New York.
It was shown in, I mean, like 35 countries. Yeah. I mean, surprisingly, the Middle East, I've had a lot of girls from like Qatar and in Saudi say that like our show was like their favorite.
Really?
Yeah, it aired on ITVB here, which was ITV. It was one of your channels on your TV here, not cable. I think it was like and it's where they show like the Housewives of Cheshire and like Towie, I think, and not Made in Chelsea. Who else was it? But it was like a reality channel, so it aired on ITVB.
Were you shocked at, like, you know, just like the cult following it had in America?